Yes. Semper Fi to all my veterans across the board. And I hope you guys are okay, handling business, enjoying your weekend. And to all subscribers, both new and old, salute to you guys. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos. Now, today, you see the title. And this week's Article 15 will be reloaded. It is the folly of the modern day dinner whores. So, as I said before, there'll be 5 reasons why not only do you call them modern day dinner whores, but they get treated the way they get treated. But this is a solution-based oriented channel, so aspiring to put solid solutions in there, but there's going to be blunt force, honesty, and critical assessment. So there will be a few F-bombs here and there. Who knows? Depends on how I feel. So viewer discretion is advised. That being said, let's get into it. Number 5, we are talking about piss poor table etiquette. Now you're thinking in the conversation about the table, and understand in reference, the table is that masculine individual, who he is, what he's presenting after you. Does he have a program where you can sit down and eat to create ideas and other things that are supposed to be forward progressive that go against the fucking grain of society right now? Now, in that said establishment, we start looking at things such as the internal. Now, all this is a table, but the most important part are the legs of the table, the internal. We're talking about that man's spiritual. Let's consider that his brand. When you look at him on the external or even hear about him, how does he represent himself? When you see him, can you recognize who he's about, what he is expect to deliver? Does he know himself and his reputation? Then we're talking about the health. Is sitting at his table a healthy choice? Now, granted, there's piss poor etiquette because certain individuals or females like junk food. They live off fast food. Individuals that bring them no spiritual, social, emotional, and intellectual internal value or value for them to grow, to feed off of. No nutritional value whatsoever. But yet they love the taste of junk food because it's cheap, it's economically, sound for them. And again, they do dusty foot activity, so that's what they live off on. Then we talk about is the family element. Is it enough to support fellowship? And does it feel like a family atmosphere? We're not just talking about blood relatives, we're talking about camaraderie. Does it support that? Now, certain individuals are used to sitting around that rickety ass TV dinner trays, or they're looking for thought pockets to take on the go. They're used to go plates. The old fornication without foresight or smash and dash type cruise. Can you sit down and enjoy the comforts of the internal, which when you go into an establishment, we're talking about appearance. How does it look, not just on the outside, but the internal? Is everything internal, or at least most things, appreciated in said establishment? How does it look when you sit down in there, and is the decor up to par? Or are you used to taking selfies in places that you're not accustomed in being in and saying you've been there? How many times have you heard individuals who have piss poor etiquette get in there and affect the dwelling? How does the establishment allow you to carry yourself in said places? See, when you're at that man's table, naturally, some guys will entertain the idea of twerking and all that crazy stuff that a lot of these females do. But is there appropriate time and place for that? When you're at that man's table and he's entertaining you, not just his time, energy, and resources, and vetting you as he should do, vetting you via time, toll, seeing your level of trouble and threat. You ever get past certain levels and he's not a simp, a spiritually impaired mule of provision. He's going to take you on as his problem. In his selfless nature, he's going to do what he's supposed to do, providing the 4 P's. Provision, problem solving, protection, and procreation. But see, a lot of these females are accustomed to the 4 for 4 deal on her terms. She wants a provider because his money is her money and her money is her money. And he's providing a stage for her to show her ashy-footed antics. These are the type of chicks that run around with jellies on well into their 30s. They're like to put their feet on the table, i.e. disrespect you, not just in person, but in public. Like to siphon the energy from that man, resources as much as she can. Talking loud and chewing with her food, or chewing with her mouth open, showing her food. Showing that she hasn't been anywhere solid. And these are the same ones that complain about another woman sitting at his table. Not just getting more than what she had, but she's getting quality food. See, everybody doesn't need to see what you're eating. That goes in part of the etiquette. And if they don't have those steady legs to the table, you don't need to be sitting there. That is that man's duty, respective man's duty, to not just fix that table, but to prepare that establishment for not just women to be entertained, but for his peers and those he wishes to create sound and solid opportunities with. But we're talking about the females. See, when you have piss poor etiquette and you go out here and finding many ways to run down the establishment or said table with negative reviews and all that nonsense, or the lack of confidentiality because you got a vent and all that shit. This is what separates you from women of substance who happen to be significant others versus you hard-footed harlots who happen to be nothing more than symbiotes. Symbiotes aren't allowed to eat at the table. They sit by at the dumpster waiting for the scraps that come by whenever they decide to feed the alley cats or whatnot. And for some, that's fine. That's what they live by and that they learn by. But I say this in closing. Fellas, you are the maitre d' of that place. You are the head of that establishment. And who you allow to sit and eat at your table will determine whether you're worth 5 stars or you need to call the health department to shut your shit down. It's about accountability. And who you allow at your table and how they eat and how they treat your establishment will teach others that comes with collateral damage, both good and bad. Before I continue the series, I will close with this. Never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. And fellas, it always takes a pussy to expose and control one. So tell me what you think about number 5. Leave it in the comment section and we can address it as a collective. And with that, that's just part 1 of a 5-part series. You guys take